Hi there. Hey, I'm going to be running an experiment with this video. So I'm downloading this video, or uploading, to the Morning Wood channel. This video that's going to follow right after this intro. And then in 4 days, I'm going to upload the same exact video without this intro onto my Firm Bark Frisk channel. And I would prefer that you guys don't watch it because I'm doing a test with viewership. So if you watch it on Morning Wood, please don't watch this same video again on the Firm Bark Frisk channel. Thanks and enjoy.
Well, this is a heck of a start to my trip to Morning Wood, but since it is January and I live 3 hours from Canada, this should not be totally unexpected. Alright, I'm packed up. I'm ready to head up to Morning Wood. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, 32 degrees. So hopefully I won't hit too much traffic on the way up there. It's, let me turn this fan off. How's that? And it's been so long since I've been up there. I usually have like a checklist in my head of stuff I need to pack, so it'll be interesting to see what I forgot. Anyhow, I'm on the road. Alright, it's 5:29. It's 28 degrees outside now, and I can answer the question that I ended my last bit with, which is, what did I forget? Well, it's pretty chilly up here. It's about 34 degrees. It's not too bad. My hands are a little cold. Good news is everything's pretty much in the same spot that I left it. You can see my little shelters there. Even the canvas is still sitting where it's supposed to be, which I'm pretty surprised about considering the amount of snow and rain we got up here. I did get a little bit of damage. This nice big madrona is tipped over. I think I got a bunch of trees that suffered from the wind. I don't know if I can straighten that back up or not. That's pretty big. I'll have to go up and look at the roots. But you can see these trees right here, they tipped over. Those, I didn't leave those like that. So that got wiped out. And then you can see, here's another one right here. There's a few that fell right off the edge. Fortunately, nothing hit anything. They just fell over. Solar panels and shit are where they belong. And I went in there, actually, it's pretty good. There's not near the mold I had last year. And truck camper still where it belongs, tarps in place, so that's good. Shake a little ice off the tarp, so yeah, definitely cold up here. Chopped up some logs to get a fire started. That gets the core warmed up. Fingertips are still freezing. So here's the base of that madrona. You can see it's pulling out of the ground right there. The only reason this thing is standing is it happened to fall right on top of a stump that happened to be tall enough to kind of keep it angled up. I honestly don't know though. I think she's a goner. Here's another madrona that got snapped. Right there. God, what a tragedy. So this green stuff right here is, I think it's some kind of like goldenrod type of a thing. Anyhow, it's a very invasive weed. Look at that shit. It's already starting to bloom. But yeah, if we don't get it under control, it'll take over. So I gotta chop all these down. I'll probably make that a priority today since I don't plan on doing too much else. I'm kind of worried about runoff coming down the hill here. I don't actually drive down this, but my neighbor does. And I thought for sure with the heavy rains we were getting that this would be pretty much washed out, but it's actually in pretty good shape. There's not even any potholes. There's a little bit of erosion. I'll have to talk to him and see if he wants to split the cost of investing in some gravel. Well, wouldn't be so much for me, be more for him. The top secret camouflage wood pile is still in place, so pretty happy. I thought for sure I was going to come up here and find that tarp all over the place or ripped or something. But yeah, still hanging in there, so I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm not going to poke around in there. Things don't look too wet, but obviously I can't see in very far. But just going to leave that one alone for a while. I still don't know what to think about this tree leaning over like this. It feels pretty dangerous. I mean, it's just leaning on that one log. Right there. I'm inclined to think it's just another windstorm away from pitching over one direction or the other. Most likely it would go in that direction because that's the way the wind typically blows. But I don't know. Anybody got a suggestion? I'm all ears. In the interest of full disclosure, I gotta admit I might have to hand in my bushcrafting card because to get this thing started I just lit one of those generic Duraflame logs and then just stacked wood over the top just to get it rolling because I just didn't feel like, lazy. So I decided to go ahead and pick up a surge The Surge is on the left and the Leatherman Wave is on the right. You're probably familiar with those. I had that Wave on the right since, oh wow, probably 2004 or 5. It still looks brand new. If I open it up and show you the tools, you'll recognize it as an older model because some of the things are a little bit different in the new ones. I wasn't really surprised, or I wasn't really quite ready for how big the Surge was going to be. It weighs 12.5 ounces, so that's 3/4 of a pound. The Wave weighs 7 ounces. You can actually carry the Wave in your pocket. It's not too bad. The Surge is just way too big for a pocket. I'm carrying it around for the last 2 days with the sheath it came with on my belt, and it's actually not too bad. The main reason I wanted to get the Surge was because it comes with the scissors on the outside of the knife so you can access it without opening the knife. Also, the scissors is probably 2 to 3 times bigger. The scissors with the Wave works okay, but it's really tiny, and it's, I don't know, it's a pain in the neck to get out of there because there's a lot of unfolding. I really like this scissors on the outside. I also like the pliers better on the Surge. The Wave pliers is a little small, although I gotta loosen these up. This is not easy to use. My Wave, it just drops kind of like it's spring-loaded, even though it's not. It just opens and closes much easier, but you know, that's 12 years old and this is brand new. And then the other thing is the new Surges have the replaceable wire cutter, which is handy because I think I cut wire twice with my Wave and bunkered that up and it shot, so that's a huge advantage. I forgot to take the water out of this water filter before winter, so hopefully it's not damaged. I can't remember if there was water in the top section when I left or not. There isn't any now, so I don't know. I'm not in the mood to pull it out and inspect the back, so hopefully it's still working. I got these tarp clips at the local Wally World. I can't say that's all I had to pick from. They basically, tarp goes in here and then you slide this gizmo forward to cinch it down. It's pretty hokey. That's what it looks like attached. You're going to want to wear gloves when you put those on because to slide that little thing from here up to there is a real finger pincher. What's probably going to happen is now that I put in these tarp clips right here, the top will be nice and tight and it'll blow over. It started to get a little sunnier right here. It was super foggy earlier. The fog is still like right over the canal though, so I got no view going out over the water. I've piloted ships and that crap, and I will tell you it is not fun. I stuck my head inside the camper and looked around a little bit in there. It's pretty dark. But basically, from what I can tell so far, I'm not suffering anywhere near the mold outbreak I had last year, which is fine with me. It's a little stuffy because it's been closed up for 2 months, but I mean, it's clean in there, and that makes me happy. One evening I was doing some ill-advised drinking and Amazon surfing, and I decided to purchase this rice and sweet pulled pork. It's dehydrated, and it's pretty pricey. And when I read the directions, I'm a little disappointed because it says that it's 2 servings, but the directions say to add 1 cup of water. And all the Mountain House 2 serving dishes tell you to add 2 cups of water. So right away I'm thinking they're what they call 2 servings is immediately suspect. Hopefully you can see in there. I can't see the viewfinder with the daylight glaring off of it, but there's some pretty good pork-sized chunks in there, and of course a bunch of rice, so we'll see how it turns out. If those chunks are actually pork, that's not too bad because a lot of the Mountain House stuff is like really light on their meat portions. Okay, so on the left is 2 servings of campfire meals, pulled pork and rice, and on the right is 2.5 servings of Mountain House. What is that? Oh, beef stroganoff. So Actually, they kind of came out a lot closer than I thought they were going to, because what was in here was really, didn't look like much at all. And it only took a cup of water. The Mountain House takes 2 cups. And I don't know. I'm going to give them both a try and we'll find out. It actually smells pretty good. Surprisingly, there's a lot of barbecue flavor to this. It's pretty good. It's really sweet. It could be a little more tangy and less sweet, but you know, that's personal preference. So if you like sweet barbecue sauce, then this is pretty good. As far as the pulled pork goes, it's mainly rice, which, you know, I would expect that. But there's enough pork in here when you spread it around that you get a lot of pork flavor with it. I have to say, I was pretty prepared to thumbs down the campfire meals, because it looked like it just was not going to have as much food as the Mountain House did. It's pretty close, and the flavor is pretty decent. It's definitely a nice change up from a lot of the Mountain House flavors that doesn't have anything like a pulled pork. It does say sweet pulled pork on there, so it should not be surprising when I comment that it tasted kind of sweet. So you have to like a sweet flavored pulled pork, but it's actually pretty good. So I'm pleasantly surprised on the flavor and the quantity, but I'm way down on the price, because the Mountain House on the left is about $5 a pouch, and the rice and pulled pork was $8.99. Yeah, I just want to say congratulations to the Atlanta fans. This year your team is definitely much better than my team this year. But yeah, we had nothing for them. They could score at will, and it was just, you know, fortunately it was over early, and I didn't have to stress about it. But yeah, it kind of sucked. Congratulations to Atlanta.